Thor. You sure you wanted to get my thoughts on it? We spoke off Zoom about it, and look, I can say first of all, I want Marvel to know that I'm on to them, and I don't appreciate it. I'm done with this mess, at least for now. Everything Marvel properties are getting oversaturated. It took longer than I expected. Like when they got Star Wars, it was quick. It was here's a bunch of movie, here's a bunch of stuff. Oh wait, it's too much of the same thing. Marvel took a while, and I'm to the point that I don't care what comes out now because Thor 4 was meh. It was barely better than Thor 3 for me. And below
And you
meh is a bad movie.
and you
So
hated Thor 3, so
I won't say I hate it because there's not many things or anything that I hate. Hate's a strong word for me. I mean, there are worse movies, but I gave Thor 3 shots for me to enjoy it, and I didn't enjoy any of it. If they wiped it off the MCU map completely, I wouldn't care. And I kind of feel the same way about Thor 4. There was about 10 to 15 good parts, 10 to 15 minutes of good parts in it that I enjoyed. Everything else was like, oh, this is just Thor 3, except with, I don't know, just, it's like charging me $40 for a new game, but actually it's just a DLC. It's like, oh, it's
yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
I didn't hate it. It's just, I didn't like it. I don't think it was good. I think Marvel can do better. I'm not on a Scorsese's line of thinking, but man, I'm taking a break. And it is
Well,
and it's not because of Thor 4, but Thor 4 broke the camel's back, as they say. I don't know if I can still say that. I don't know if they do camel rights or whatever, but I'm taking a break from Marvel. I'm not watching the shows. I think they have something lined up all the way until whatever Black Panther 2 comes out. And I'll watch that because I just want to see how they do. But going into Thor 4, I felt like I had to watch it just to keep up with the MCU, and I did not. It
yeah,
didn't add anything. It didn't add a single element to what's going on in the MCU, and I felt like that for the last few properties they put out.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I
that's my
agree.
initial thoughts.
I agree. Look, I want to give you time to get your Thor 4 takes off because you we talked about it, and when I first talked to you about it, you was like, "Oh yeah, it was okay. It wasn't great, it wasn't good." Then the more you talked about it, I was like, "Well, I don't think you like it. You don't seem to like it. And
Yeah, I
so I'm kind of with you, man. I the Marvel oversaturation and just the emptiness, the soullessness of this new phase. They're just cranking stuff out, and I'm like, man, this isn't good. Like the stuff isn't good. It doesn't have much of a soul, and we seem to be checking. And I hate to say this stuff because you don't want to give validity to some of the internet stuff, but some of it. Look, I'm a firm believer in whenever there's any sort of discourse, no matter the discourse, there's always a kernel of truth. And right now, the check the box nature of what they're doing with uh diversity, inclusion, and stuff like that, it feels that way. It feels like they just give you some sort of diversity inclusion just to say they did it without putting in the work. Right? It's not
right.
I obviously I love diversity. I love you adding, Wong as, Sorcerer Supreme in this last Doctor Strange movie, but I didn't really believe it because you hadn't built Wong. They've done a better job than Wong than anybody else, but it's just there have been other inclusions within the universe that it just feels like, let's just say we did it right. Like I hadn't seen Thor 4, but apparently they made notice towards Korg, and obviously Valkyrie's always been a gay character. Those characters being gay or kind of whatever, right? And most people feel like they just kind of threw it in there to say, "Hey, see, we did it." And that's usually the case with Disney because they're a corporation, and most corporations don't have. And I think this is what I would say to fans in general. Fans got to stop looking to corporations to be like allies to whatever cause you're trying to have. Corporations are allies to one cause, and that's profit motive at all times. Like, we just kind of got to get over that
Right.
in general. It's like we were talking about Jane being Thor. It's like, listen, I never thought Jane was going to be a real Thor because that movie wouldn't sell nearly as good as a Chris Hemsworth Thor. Let's call it what it is. I mean, come on. I mean,
Right. Well, so what the I didn't have a problem with Jane being Thor. I thought the reason they did the movie felt rushed. There was no lead up to it. It felt
yeah,
like the only lead up to what was going on in Thor 4 was the press. All the stuff they put out for it, the Comic Cons and all that, saying, "Oh, she's gonna be new Thor," or "This person's gonna be in the movie," and that. It felt like they were using that to build up to the movie, and that doesn't explain anything that's in the movie. They
yeah,
explain why she becomes Thor, and it's pretty close to the comic. I didn't have any problem with that. It's just that it was like she becomes Thor and she knows exactly what to do. As if Thor's been Thor for 1,500 plus years. He has combat experience and all that. And then, she gets the hammer. I'm not going to spoil anything, however she gets it. And then she can just do everything that he can. Like it's easy to do. I'm like, that's a little weird. It felt rushed to me. But I mean, I get it. It was only a 2 hour long movie. They wanted to pack a bunch in or whatever. I don't know. But it I don't the I don't know, man. The original story with Gore the God Butcher, and yes, I know it's different. It's the MCU. It was good, and it was way more epic than the movie made it out to be. And Disney does that. Marvel does that. They did it with Ultron. Uh, I look. I went in didn't expect much, and I didn't get much. So that's why I'm not saying, oh, I really dislike it, because when I went to see Thor 3, my expectations were high and I was let down. When I went to
yeah,
see Thor 4, my expectations were low and they stayed low. So it's like, it's whatever. That's exactly what I expected it to be, and it turned out exactly like that. So it's whatever. And with Wong, I felt like at least they explained why he was a sorcerer supreme. They never said that he was more powerful than Strange. It's just
no, no,
you were gone for 5 years and we needed somebody. So
yeah, yeah,
he's the guy now. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me. Um, but yeah, um, I don't know. Disney likes to they don't always get the story right. When it comes to introducing whatever. Um, and honestly, sometimes I don't know, sometimes they just need to not explain some things. I don't need to know this. Look, I get Korg is played by Taika Waititi, and that's why he's in it so much. And he's
yes,
like comic relief to a comedy movie, which makes no sense, but whatever. But like, I don't care about anything about him, anything about his people, anything about, like, I'm here
Korg
for
is just,
Thor.
yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. It's just, maybe it's just not aimed at me, because I feel the same way about Miss Marvel. It's not aimed at me. I'm a 35-year-old man living in South Carolina. It's not directly aimed at me, but usually when
Yeah.
it's not aimed at me, it's enjoyable still. But with Miss Marvel, Thor 4, what's the one? Moon Knight,
Yep. Yep.
it's been a string of, oh man, I'm just not into it. It has its moments. Moon Knight, I thought, started off good, and then it just got stupid towards the end.
It
Doctor
did. It
Strange
did.
2, I thought, had great moments, so I think it's a good movie. I love Shang-Chi. I thought that movie was fantastic. The way the villain was, he was only a villain because he's trying to get his family back together type thing. I thought that was great. but they didn't like try to push, hey, look how different this is, and this is why it's different. It's like, no, here's a story, and here it is. Lately, I don't know, I've been disappointed. And Marvel, if you're listening, I'm sure they're not. Um, I'm done with you for a while. I'm taking a break. We need to. I would say it's not you, it's me, but it is 100% you. And I'll readdress it at a later date.
Yeah, it's what another thing that's happening too is so you're the same age as me. We're the same age. We probably got into this shit around the same time. Um, we yeah, it's been a long ride for us. So this maybe the new maybe like the next phase really isn't just kind of for us, and we'll pick it back up whenever. But I know you're a bigger fan than me, comic book wise, especially. But I've been watching this. I've been here since like the first Hulk, when they were first trying to build the thing and they messed it up, and then they had to try it again with
Right,
So I've been here the whole time, and so yeah, I'm just kind of tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
right.
kind of
But
it's all getting sort of. My biggest issue is it's all getting sort of formulaic. Like I
right,
just know how. Like I knew Doctor Strange wasn't going to be the one to like end Wanda in the Doctor Strange movie. I just knew they were going to figure out a way for
right,
Wanda to kind of get out of it, and she didn't get out of it. She did pay the price, but like she sacrificed herself, and in doing so, she also took the Darkhold away from every other multiverse or whatever. And it
yeah,
just
how
once
convenient.
again, that's that formulaic way of Marvel tying this whole thing up in a nice little bow. And it's like I don't think it needs to be that all the time, man. Like, can
Right.
we just can people have consequences? I was joking with a friend today, and we were joking about it was Tanjiro. It's like, can you people can you guys be like Tanjiro, cry a little bit and slice his fucking head off? Hey, hey, listen, I understand that you're a victim of circumstance, but you went too far. You got to go.
Right.
Uh, that's why
Yeah.
I love Demon Slayer for that reason. Because Tanjiro like cry and he'll go, "Your demon, your blood demon is beautiful," and he'll slice your fucking head off. All right, and then
Right.
he'll cry about it, right? Because and that's in my opinion, it's really effective to have real finality and consequences to some of your characters because that's real storytelling. Whenever I'm sitting there, and this is a Disney throughput as well. I told you, oh, God damn, I'm about to do it. I'm about to invoke it. That last Star Wars movie, when Chewie was
Oh
supposed to
boy.
be dead, I never believed it.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. No one believed he was actually
he's not
dead.
dead. Like Chewie's not dead. All right, they're gonna figure out a way to make him not dead.
Right.
And of course, they cheapened it because it was another ship. You just didn't see it. Like, hey, come on, man. Like, it's shit like that with Disney. Whenever you Disneyfy everything, man, it makes for not good storytelling. There's never consequences for anybody, and
Right.
there's always a way to redeem somebody. Sometimes there's not a way to redeem people, and we got to be comfortable with that. You're unredeemable. You got to go. All right. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Like, I would have loved to see, because you finally saw Doctor Strange too. I would have loved to see how their universe handled Thanos. I want to see Doctor Strange go off the deep end. I want to see that fight
Yeah, but
because they didn't use stones to snap him away. They killed that dude. You
yeah,
see the picture of Thanos, and he's got his own blade through his chest, and then they end up killing Doctor Strange. I want to see that
yeah,
because it looked nuts. It wasn't, oh, I got the stones and I snapped my finger, no blood, no guts. Everybody just disappears. And then Tony dies because we don't want to keep paying them $60 million a movie. It's like, okay, I get it. But yeah, man, I don't know. Even at the beginning of the MCU, it was in credit scene, hey, we're making the Avengers. It's like, okay, it's
yeah,
going to something. And
yeah,
the Avenger comes out and it's like, oh, Thanos is the big guy. He's the next one. He's the next thing we're going towards. Now it's just random movies they're putting out
yeah, yeah,
and content. And I'm like, how I'm expecting it to tie together because that's how it's always been introduced to me. There's a bigger picture, and now it just seems like random stuff. And then in the background, they'll mention things that already happened before.
Well,
It's
Kevin
like,
Feige think this is all gonna tie together. I listen. Obviously, it's gonna tie together, but
right,
is it tie together in a coherent fashion in which I can go back and see a through line and go, "Damn it, it was right there the whole time. I just wasn't paying attention." Right?
right,
If it turns out to be that, then I may change my mind. But so far, yeah, I'm with you. This whole phase feels like just meandering because we got to produce content. It
right,
feels like the rest of the internet where it's like things are just we're just doing a thing because we got to produce content because the internet's become this 24-hour content generation machine at
right,
all times. Got to make content out of everything, and everything needs to be a story, and everything needs to be a fucking blog or vlog or whatever.
right,
And but it feels like Disney's almost feeding the podcast industrial uh industry by just constantly just putting out stuff. Like, you guys are gonna talk about
right.
this all the time because we're always gonna do stuff.
Yeah,
And ultimately that stuff
podcasts
starts to
and
feel a little
reaction
soulless.
videos and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It starts to feel a little soulless eventually.
yeah. It's just I don't know. It feels like they're making up for lost time due to COVID, because they had to take a break and everything
Yeah.
got pushed back. Um, and then they brought us back with Black Widow, which wasn't exactly the best movie. So it's like, oh well,
It
th-
wasn't, but I did enjoy Black Widow
I
because
enjoy. Well, I know why you enjoyed it.
I come on. Hey, she's a wonderful lady. Uh she's just the best. Just
Right,
a then you need we call it in basketball, we call it a microwave. And I guess in the film industry, she's like I compare her to a microwave. Like, she's instant charisma on the screen.
right. She
And
actually
she
got a movie coming out. Um, I forget what it's called. It's her and someone else I know, a dude. They're kind of like I don't know. To me, it felt like she and her husband or whoever joined his neighborhood, and it's just weird stuff going on, and it's kind of like set in the 50s and 60s,
Oh, okay.
and it's just and she's not buying into it type of deal, and
Because she saw that black person they were keeping in the basement. Why's that black family in the basement? What are you guys doing? What is happening
jeez,
here?
no,
By the way,
at
we
least I
never.
hope not.
Hey, we're talking about Florence Pugh, by the way. That's who we're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
Florence Pugh. Yeah, I do love the fact that that's probably the best thing they've done since in Phase 4 is the introduction of Florence Pugh into the MCU. It's probably the one satisfying take I have. That's like the one thing that brings me legitimate joy. Everything else, meh.
right.
Although
I
I
mean,
did, you
look,
know what? I take it back. The show, in my opinion, the show started out very strong. It's been the
yes,
movies that have been really disappointing.
yeah,
Outside of like Moon Knight, Moon Knight sucked. I mean, I would say it. Moon Knight sucked. That I don't get. Oscar Isaac is a really talented actor, but
yeah.
he doesn't seem to have a great eye, like for projects. It's weird. It's weird.
Well, I mean, everything he does is like big budget, or whether he's Apocalypse in X-Men or
Yeah,
Poe or whatever in Star Wars, and now back in the MCU as someone else. It's, I mean, hey, I look. You want to pay me how much to do what?
yeah. Well, I
Got it.
guess
I do
yeah.
the best I
Hey,
can.
there's always that. Yeah, yeah,
He's like, oh, this is the script? Nah, for real. What's the real script? Oh, this is it. All right. Well, I'll do what I can with it. That's how
yeah,
I feel like.
yeah.
Because look, when a show ends with anime style mecha battles with a giant alligator and a bone bird, I'm like, why is this happening over Egypt and no one can see this?
Very
Like
weird.
it, and then they don't even show the fight. It's something magical happened and we don't know what happened, and then at the very end, it's a third personality that they've hinted at since day one. It's
Yeah, that
like,
third.
oh, come on,
Yeah,
man.
Blank Silent does something extraordinarily violent. It's been this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, Shang-Chi I thought was fantastic. Okay, so back to Black Widow. You can't go from Endgame to Black Widow and be
That's too.
like,
I
you
agree.
know,
I agree.
it's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
hold
yeah.
on a second. So yeah. And then from there, okay, if you want to take it as okay, now it's phase 4. We're building up to something else. Okay, they're introducing new characters. When Black Widow, they introduce Lawrence Pugh, and everyone else, and then Shang-Chi, and then I forget. Then they had the Spider-Man movie, which the Spider-Man movie was pretty good.
Iron Man's pretty good. Yeah.
Um, But the shows started out real good with Captain America, Winter Soldier, well, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then it changed to Captain America. Loki, there's 4 of them. I forget What If and something else.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um and What If, to be honest, I thought they didn't have to connect everything. I thought that was weird at
I
the end.
agree. That's the thing about the what if. They use what if to like try to introduce some things that they may be doing in the future. And they made it they serialized what if. And I didn't get that at all. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, why don't we just make a bunch of what ifs? It's just random what
Yeah.
ifs. Like, don't serialize it. No, don't connect them. And then the last 2 were so damn bad. Like, what?
Yeah, you're gonna be the guardians of the multiverse. Like, come on now. Like it doesn't have to connect. Now I like that Ultron was able to do that, but it didn't have to be an Avenger style team up, and then it ended with Killmonger locked in battle with the Hydra robot. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
just do the random stories, and it doesn't have to tie in at all. But now that they established that it's tying in at the end, that's what I'm going to expect for season 2. So I'm gonna watch the show, and then I'm going to be like, all right, how's it going to tie together? And I don't need that. I
I don't need
just
it.
give me a
Yeah,
product to
why
watch.
can't we? Yeah, why can't you just let your imagination run wild
Yeah,
and just tell a bunch of stories? Like, don't. There's no need to connect it all. There's no
right.
need.
They can go so off the wall with the what if stories. It's wild. Like, what if Peggy Carter got the soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers? That's so mundane to what they could do.
That was Monday. Yeah, that was.
But
That was.
I thought
Yeah,
I liked it in the end.
yeah.
But it's like, man, the what if can go
That was probably my least favorite one in my opinion, just because it was just the least imaginative. I didn't really care for it.
right. Yeah, I completely understand, but I knew that there was hope that we got to see a certain actress as that character, and
Oh, okay. That's what this is
I
about.
must
Oh,
I
this is a point thing for you. Okay.
what?
Oh,
Huh? I don't know what
all
you're
right.
talking about.
That's what this is. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Cause yeah, I found the whole thing was just they just plugged her in and had her do the same things that Steve Rogers did. Okay,
Right.
where's the fun in that?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I felt like, oh, they're just I don't know, maybe I don't know why they did it, but I was okay with the finished product, and especially what transpired in Doctor Strange 2. Um, but yeah, Disney and Marvel, I don't know, man. They just need to calm down.
So okay, so here's the question. Now, what are you gonna pivot to? All right, so you're putting down the MCU for a little while. What are you gonna pivot to in pop culture, or will that be anything? Are you gonna pick up books? What are you gonna do? Comics? You gonna dive deep into manga? What are you doing?
Man, that's the thing. I don't know. So Marvel, I lost a lot of desire to keep up with it. At least the MCU. Um, I could binge watch The Simpsons, but I've been doing that for the last few months, and
Yeah,
I'm on
you're a real
like the final
strange dude for
season.
that one too, by the way.
Huh?
You're a real strange dude for binge watching The Simpsons fucking 30 years later.
It's good background stuff. I can play it in the background while I'm doing whatever in the house, and it's like, oh, if I get tired, I need to take a break. I can
Yeah,
sit down and it's there. There's
I just
33
saw the one
seasons.
Ned Flanders was the devil. I just saw that one. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, they got it has its moments. It's not like it's
Yeah.
a terrible
Yeah.
show.
No, it's
It's
not
just
terrible.
you
It's
know.
just that you waited so long to start binge watching The Simpsons. That's really odd.
I mean, Disney Plus only been out so long. I wasn't gonna,
Yeah.
and I get that for free. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
wasn't
not
gonna
a big Simpsons
pay for it.
guy. I love Archer. I love
Look,
American
once
Dad.
Archer becomes free, I'll get back on it. But those
Archer
three
is
seasons of
free.
BS,
It's just commercials on Hulu.
exactly. And I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I know. You don't do commercials. I get it. I get it. You got your freedoms. I get it. All right.
I ain't going back. Only time I'm putting up with commercials is during football games. That's it. Besides that, it's not
I'm
happening.
trying to think. I've gotten really into Jujutsu Kaisen, and now I'm waiting for season 2. And I'm like, dude, y'all need to hurry up. Come on, man.
I've been waiting on season 2 for like a year and a half.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm glad I just got into it, so I won't be waiting as long as you.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten into what's the show with the the stupid one that you showed me, Attack on Titan.
Oh wow.
I
Yeah,
wish
that
I had gotten into that.
there's no reason to do that, what you just did. Uh hey, listen, first of all, here's your problem. It's nobody else's fault that you've watched every anime that ever existed, all right?
I
So you have
haven't
all these
though.
through lines. You have all these through lines that you can tie into that Attack on Titan's pulling from. I don't have that knowledge, so it's wonderful, all right? Attack on Titan is fucking wonderful. Now you, the man who knew too much, he's seen it all, so now he's like, this is boring. I've seen its plot device before.
Man,
Like, okay, so
it's not. It's more of a. I don't know. I think it was hyped up just too much for me, and my expectations were extremely high, and it was an okay anime. It's not terrible, except for the whole time travel thoughts thing, and I think that's stupid. And then we're breaking it up into parts that take a year off.
well, that's the one indiscriminately. That's the dumbest part of all. That is dumb. Absolutely.
Yeah, and look, I'm the same way about well, One Piece, kind of. One Piece has its moments, and then I'm like, okay, I don't need to watch the next 30 episodes until something important actually happens. And then I just wait a whole year and then I watch them all at once. But I can't do that because Attack on Titan takes a year off. One Piece
I
doesn't take a
fucking
whole year off.
I love Attack on Titan. I love the Attack on Titan Reddit pages. I love the community around Attack on Titan. Uh, I love the community around like Demon Slayer. Like that's the fun part about these animes now. When you go on these Reddit pages and like the fans break down comic, the manga strips and stuff like that, and they,
Right,
it's fun. That's the fun stuff to be about the anime stuff. The animes themselves are part of it, but it's the fandom around it. That's like the real fun stuff that I
right,
really thoroughly enjoy. And it's just fans being fans in a good way. It's not
right.
constantly. We all know it's Reddit can be like the seventh level of hell for some, for like Star Wars fandom.
Yeah,
But like that's a uniquely Star Wars fansy thing there. I don't know what's happening there with the Star Wars and the constant toxicity. But luckily that's not that's not a thing that affects most of these the pop culture sort of the zeitgeist, so to speak. Most of the stuff is, the fans are actually they add a really good quality, a really good layer to an already impressive, manga or TV show.
right. Well, I think with the Star Wars issue is the movies came out in what the late 70s and 80s,
Yep.
and then it that was it. There was nothing but books afterwards.
That
Besides
was
the
it. It was
holiday
nothing
special,
books. Yeah. Yep.
there's books. It was canon books. This
Yep.
is what goes on in Star Wars, and then it did episode 1, 2, and 3, and those movies were like, they weren't that great, but it's Star Wars. We appreciate it. Then there's
Yep.
another
Yep.
long break, more books, and then Disney comes in and says, you know what? Those books don't count anymore. This is what's canon now. And people are like,
Yeah.
oh, hold on now. Who are you? And they're like, well, we own the property. We do whatever we want. And
Yeah.
then I think that's a big issue.
I'm glad you asked. We're Disney, and we have lots of money. And trust me, you're not gonna like what we do here. So you
right.
may just want to leave now. And that's true. Us and a lot of those older fans, they couldn't handle it, so they stuck around. They just were bitter about it.
Yeah.
And
They
now they're
still
just
are.
fucking. Yeah.
Yeah, and they still are. I mean, I in my mind, I just imagine someone, whatever age, race, or whatever. I won't say what. Is just they're just thinking when Force Awakens came out, they're like,
Oh,
hold on now, Billy D. Williams was enough. That's that's what
yeah.
I was picturing in my mind. They're like, hold on now, what's up? What's up with all this diversity? Billy D. Williams was enough. I don't need any more of that. And then it just went down. It was a down
And
spiral
then
from there.
look, and then once you bring up the fact that, and this is where Disney got it right, we're talking about a galaxy far, far away. What in the hell makes you think they're all white people? Come on, man. Like, are you? How big of a narcissist are you? And what we've learned through those years since that happened, they are some of the biggest narcissists around,
Yeah,
because they really believe that only white people should ever exist in any space that ever exists. And that's the weirdest shit in the world to me. It's like, dude, you're a weird. Like, look, even like when I say that, I'm talking about even like from my perspective, it's like y'all didn't go far enough just putting black people. Okay, so it's just white and black people in the galaxy far, far away, and just like two Asians. Well, what about the
well,
greens and the purples and the yellows? Can we get like real funky with it? And George did that in his original movies, of course,
right,
right? They were all sorts of like different, and that's the funny part about it, right? They were all cool with like lizards talking and whatnot,
right.
lizards as bartenders. You throw two black people in it, and all of a sudden they fucking go nuts.
Well, yeah. I mean,
It's a weird, toxic fan base, a very, very weird, toxic fan base, and they've made a point. They're gonna bomb. They're gonna bomb. They're gonna bomb any movie, any project that comes out from Star Wars. Any one of them, it's never gonna get good reviews because they're gonna be there to make sure that they sink the ratings. And that's And don't get me wrong, Disney has definitely done their fair share to help them along the way
right,
because some of that shit is dreck. But your intentions matter, right? If you're not
right.
even trying to like it, then what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, that's the power of social media and all that.
Yeah,
But that's one pretty good thing about Rotten Tomatoes. They kind of separate the critics from just normal fans.
no, yep, yep.
It's like, hey, this is what the critics think, but people who actually saw the movie or say they saw the movie, this is what they think, and them scores can be completely opposite.
They can't. Well, hey, Thor: Love and Thunder. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think fans liked it more than critics, but not by that much though. I think it's got like a 77% uh from the audiences and like a 69 from the from the critics. So
I'd
it's
give it a
68.
solid
It's a
50.
68. It's a 68 from the critics, 81 from the audience.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. I mean,
And by the way, neither one of those is a good trend for Disney and Marvel.
right,
Like that's not the standard that they set. So trending wise, because if I'm not mistaken, Doctor Strange similar ratings, similar opinions, right?
right.
So man, they've got to right the ship somehow. I'm thinking Quantum Mania would be the one that perhaps gets it help turned around because if you're introducing such a guy like Kang the Conqueror, and that guy, he's such another magnetic star. Like we've got some new blood coming between Florence Pugh and goddamn, what's his name? The guy who plays Kang. Uh,
I don't even know his name. I
I
heard he was
forgot
in
his
a
name,
bunch of
man.
stuff.
But yeah, that guy. He those are really really charismatic people, man, and they have a really good screen presence.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to more of that, right? More of those guys. Jonathan Majors is his name. Yeah, Jonathan Majors. Another
Oh,
guy,
okay.
big screen presence. He's gonna be great as Kang the Conqueror. And we'll see. And hopefully they don't kill him because they always kill him. I
They
don't know why.
better. I don't think they will because he ties in with the Loki show and a movie. So I hope, man. I don't know. I don't even know when Quantumanium comes out. But to be honest, I'm not a huge. I accept the Ant-Man movies for what they are, but I'm not the biggest fan of them.
Yeah, see,
Like,
well, I like the Ant-Man. I like the Ant-Man movie because I like the Ant-Man movies because they're a good change of pace from, from everything else. It's just a different sort of movie. It's not real heavy on um the stakes in those movies are light, and
right?
that's by design.
Yeah,
What it's evident the moment the movie starts, you just kind of know, okay, you're not getting this is not going to be a movie that's going to make you think a whole lot about stakes and consequences and things of that nature.
right,
Uh, it's going to be a more of a lighthearted fare, right?
right.
This
Yeah,
ain't going to be Captain America and the Winter Soldier, right? And I like that.
right.
I like that. I like that because tonally they set that tone fast.
Right. Yeah, they do. And that's what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with the movie. I can accept those movies for what they are, way better than it's just the 180-degree change of pace from Thor 2 to Thor 3. And look, I understand Thor 1 and 2 weren't great. It's just that the change of pace for me, it was like, whoa, this is way different. And I don't think I like the new stuff. And then, I tried it and I just didn't like it. But with Ant-Man, it was, hey, this is how it is from the beginning and this is how it's always going to be. It's like, oh, okay, it's fun, it's entertaining. Nothing really happens on a grand scale. I mean, like he goes up against the FBI. That's it.
Yep, yep,
Like FBI and a copycat mogul who, I'm trying to steal your technology type thing. Very comic booky. Like just, oh man, it felt like I was reading an issue from a comic book
yep, yep,
type
yep.
thing. And I can enjoy that. Quantumanium seems like it's going to be on a bigger scale to that, with time travel and how it works in the quantum realm and all that. Kang the Conqueror. I hope they, at least mention that, or he mentions that, what happened in the Loki show, and he's been freed, or now he has the ability to do whatever because of the TVA or something. I just hope there's a good mention to explain why this is an issue now and why it wasn't before. Because we understand that if we watch the show, but Scott Lang and Hank Pym and Hope, they didn't, they don't know what's going on. So I hope it gets explained and kind of opens it up more, type of deal. But I'm mainly excited for that movie because of Kang the Conqueror. Um, but but besides that, and Black Panther 2, just because what happened with Chadwick, and I want to see how they do Namor. I'm not really excited for anything else. Um, at least not for Marvel. Um, not that I can think of. Not even shows coming out. They're bringing back X-Men from 1997 cartoon, and
Yeah.
What If season 2, and Secret Wars and all that. I'm just, I don't know, don't care.
No, yeah, I'm in the same space, bro. I'm in the same space with you. I'm there with you.
Right,
Sometimes it's good to take a break, man. Like, hey, man, I'll check back in with you guys later, right?
right, yeah, and
I'll check back when maybe phase 4 is over. Let's see what you got going on over here, right?
right. And to go back to the question you asked, like 15 minutes ago, and I never answered. I don't know what I'm gonna watch because I'm about done with The Simpsons. Anime wise, I could probably start something new, but an anime that I've been waiting on, it finally came back, but it only comes out one episode a week. Um,
What's that?
Overlord.
I've heard.
Overlord is about it's kind of a dystopian future, but they don't really hit up on it. And this guy who lives in that future, they really don't hit up on it. He gets he's he's in. It's kind of like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, yeah.
Him and his friends set up a guild and all that, and they've been playing this game for years, and they're one of the most powerful guild. And over time, just like in real life, people stop playing the game, and he's the only one from his team left. and the game's going to shut down, and he wants to stay, logged into the game through like virtual reality thing while it shuts down just for old time's sakes type thing. And when it shuts down, he gets stuck in it. So now he's in the actual world that was created, and he has all his abilities and stuff like he did in the video game. And it's basically the story of him trying to live in this new world while also losing his humanity, because in the game he's a lich, which is like an undead person. So as the seasons go on, you see him care less and less about humans and things like that. It's I really enjoy it. I think they do a overpowered character well in it. And
Okay.
season 4 just came out. I think it might be the last season. It just came out last week, and I just find it to be a very entertaining anime. But
I
like I
might
said,
check it out. Might check that one out.
yeah, you probably won't like it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think you'll like it.
All right. Well.
I mean, you can check it out, but I don't think it's your cup of tea.
Okay. Okay.
I am going to finish up the Berserk manga.
Oh, oof. Woof.
I mean, I watched it and I got addicted. That's some weird stuff, but I think it's good. And apparently they're bringing it back. Even though
Yeah.
the guy who created is dead, and they finished it in quotations. They finished it. I think this year, last year. I guess they're bringing it back for whatever reason. So I'm gonna try to finish up Berserk just because I want to see how it ended before they decide to bring it back. But I don't know what I'm going to watch. I did a whole Supernatural 15 season binge. And that was
But
great.
hey, look, that's your biggest problem, sis. You binge. Hey, listen, for people listening to this right now, that the guy can binge. All right, like I say, when I say I binge something, listen, I watched the first season. After that, it was on, but I have paid attention. All right, I have to go back 2 or 3 times to really watch it. This guy can actually fly through seasons. That's probably your biggest issue right there.
How's that an issue?
You fly through stuff, man, and you
It's
get tired of
good.
it.
It's good stuff. Give me more, and I can get more. So I do.
Oh boy,
Like,
to me, man, I have to put stuff down in general. Like Supernatural. No way in the hell I could have ever binged 15 seasons. If it's soup, no way, no way.
look,
If
man,
if you told me it was 15 seasons, okay, I'm never gonna watch it. Never watch it. Never. Like people to this day, you should watch Lost. How many seasons? 7. I'm good. I'm fine. No need.
what? But you watch Supernatural. You haven't
I
finished
watched
it.
it as it came. But here's what I did. There were only like 4 seasons when I started watching. So I binged the first 4 seasons. I caught up to season 5, and then from there I was watching as it was going.
Right.
Had I done what you did, well, they get all the way to season 15, and then you start from scratch. No way in the hell. No way.
It was worth it. I thought all 15 seasons were good. I
I
didn't
thought
think there was one.
I thought seasons 9, 10, 11 were Drake, and then it picked back up again.
I haven't enjoyed a show like that from start to finish in a long. That's probably the first live action show that I can remember that from start to finish, I like, man, this is good. I'm invested in what's going on. Yes, there's some dreck because you can
It's a
only
lot
do
of
so
Drake.
much in 15 seasons. But good thing it's on Netflix or whatever show, and I could just skip past the dreck.
I'm gonna watch the last episode of season 15
The
and then
last
work my
two.
way back.
You got to do the last two.
Well, last 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
last two. Because the second to the last episode is really the finale.
Okay.
And then the last episode is just this is how it's weird. Like the second last episode is the finale to me, and the last episode is this is how it all ends. Which I don't know if that. I think if you watch the last 2 episodes, you'll see what I'm saying because it builds up to the second and last episode, and then last episode is like, okay, this is how the whole 15 season ends type thing.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I thought the show ended well. And I don't think a lot of shows can pull that off. But this show, I think it did it well. I heard they're doing a pre-sequel. But
yeah, they're gonna do one with the mom and the dad.
I mean, we saw a lot of that in the show. But
yeah. So well, pretty much Jensen Ackles has found his pot of gold, and he's not leaving until we throw him out the club. Okay, he's like, hey, we're gonna do a prequel. What about that? You don't like that idea? Fuck you. We're doing a prequel.
Wait, right. Well, he did The Boys, which
he did The
I
Boys,
guess is
but that's the same guy that created Supernatural, Eric Kripke.
Right. Yeah. And I liked him in The Boys. You finished up you watched the last episode, right?
I really enjoyed Soldier Boy's character. I did. The last episode, to me, man, I didn't necessarily like it. Black Noir going out like that, I was like, man, that feels unfulfilling.
Well, and I don't know if he's dead, man. They
did. I don't know if he's dead either. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know if he's dead.
Look, if Maeve can fall from I don't know what, 30 stories up, and she didn't have powers once he blew up.
She didn't survive that. Because once he blows you up, you're done. Yeah.
I think Black Noir can survive his guts getting ripped out because he survived some messed up stuff.
Yes, he has.
But the little recap towards the end was a little okay. You don't have to do a recap, but it didn't really recap it all in a positive way, type of deal. Cliffhangers and all that. I thought I liked the season finale.
I thought it was fine, but Butcher. I was with Butcher the whole season until that fucking kid who doesn't even fucking like him shows up, and now he's like, "No, Soldier Boy, don't do it." It's like, and I'm with Soldier Boy. It's like, hey, he's right there. You've been begging for this shit all year, like a little fucking bitch, and now he's here, and your wife's rape baby. I can't take him out. Hey, fuck you, man.
Butcher was going to kill this kid. Yes. When he first killed his wife.
Yes.
What he grabbed a crowbar or something?
Yeah, he's gonna fucking bash this kid's brain in, okay? Yeah, he's gonna kill that kid.
Look, I get it. I'm all for okay. The fact that he wrote the kid off in order to go in this battle to kill Homelander, I'm like, well, this is all your fault, Butcher. But clearly he cares about the kid. What was I going to say? So even Soldier Boy was like, why do you care about this kid? He's like, oh, it's my wife's child.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
What?
That's even more reason. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, look, you found me. I appreciate it. This is the deal. Homelander, I'm going to kill you. This is the chance. And you're saying no? It's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, that's the folly of the hero. No matter how ruthless Butcher may be, he is a hero in this story, an actual hero, and that's their folly. And the crazy thing is, him and Homelander were on the same page. They were on the exact same page.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why I like the last episode. Because
it did. I mean, just the whole shift in dynamic was a weird one. I didn't dislike the last episode. I just found myself annoyed with Butcher. I think that's what it is.
Right. Yeah.
I found myself annoyed. I'm like, dude, hey, God, get the fuck out of here.
I mean,
and you put my man Soldier Boy back in that fucking bin or whatever. Listen, and yes, he is an old racist asshole, and you know what? He's entertaining. I laughed.
Yeah. Look. If Steve Rogers was anyone else, that's probably how Captain America would have turned out. Especially if he'd been asleep for 30 or 40 years and he just popped up and like, wait a second, people can do what now?
You guys let black people do what? Wait a minute.
Right.
Wait, what?
But I really enjoyed the last episode because I enjoy. Look, by now you should know that I'm more interested in the villain than the hero because the
Yeah,
hero
because
is
villains are
so
far more
locked in,
interesting.
huh?
Yeah.
They
Well,
yeah, they have to
villains
be a
are far
certain
more
way.
interesting than heroes every
Yeah,
time.
right. So when it's Homelander actually trying to be a good father because he understands that his lack of parenting messed
Is
him
why
up.
he's so fucked up.
Yeah, he understands that. So he's like, I don't want that for my actual son. Yes, he's a rape baby, but he's like, I can do whatever I want, but I don't want my son to turn out like me because I know I suck. It's just nothing I can do about it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a dynamic I'm interested in because earlier we saw Butcher write the son off. So now the son is like, oh, wait, here's a father figure I can go towards because he's saying that no matter what, he's going to love me and all that. So I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a weird dynamic going forward. And then you see Homelander lose complete focus when his son gets hurt, and
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
perfect opportunity to kill Homelander, but it's like, even Butcher's like, hold on, man. I'm sure Butcher wasn't like, oh, he's caring for his son. It was more like the son is more important here than taking out Homelander. But to
Then all of
see,
the vengeance. Yeah.
right, but just to see Homelander care about that kid so much,
It was
I
jarring.
yeah,
It
it
was
was
jarring.
jarring and very interesting because that whole episode, I felt like Butcher and Soldier Boy talked about how they were brought up together. Um, Butcher saying that how his dad would beat him and his brother, and he would force them to drink so the father would be entertained. And then Soldier Boy was like, "Oh, my father couldn't. He wouldn't even waste time beating me, or he was it was the more mental abuse type of thing." And then you see Butcher try to change when it comes to his wife's son and Huey, but you see Soldier Boy stay the same. He goes up to Homelander and he's like, "You're a disappointment," which is exactly, you know, which is exactly what he said his father would tell him. So
You're
you
not my
see,
fucking son.
right, and you see the dynamic. You see that Butcher tried to learn from his upbringing, but Soldier Boy didn't.
Yeah.
But we also see that Homelander is trying to learn from his upbringing. It's just that he's a superpower psycho.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
So that all mixed into one episode, and then it just, I thought that was good. I thought, just look, I could do without Frenchie. They could take him out of the show. I think he's the worst character in the show. I'm done with that guy.
Man, me and you fucking really agree on that one too. I agree. I don't
Frenchie,
like
oh,
he doesn't bring anything. I don't
nothing.
like looking at him. Uh I don't know, man. It's the whole his whole his whole vibe is just like I don't need this guy here.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm done with Frenchie. The only reason he's there now for me is because him and Kamiko.
Him and
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and with
Kamiko's 1,000 times more interesting than him, and she doesn't talk. Okay,
yeah, the whole
she doesn't.
dancing thing is weird to me now, though.
What's that?
The dance numbers they do now when she's doing whatever, and the music they start playing.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to make them two a buddy cop tandem, but
Yeah,
Frenchie is not the right guy to try to do that with.
yeah. And it's just weird. I actually skipped it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
okay, I get it. Skip. Let's go on the next thing. Um, but yeah, I thought it ended well. The last two episodes.
That last scene to me was very effective because I caught major Donald Trump fucking Barron Trump vibes. It's like they're trying to warn you up ahead of time, like, hey man, Barron Trump's out there somewhere, okay? He's out there. And when he's ready to claim the throne his father left for him, he'll come back and he'll get it. But like Homelander's Donald Trump moment where he lasers that fucking guy's head off and people start cheering, and he's like, "Oh, I can really do whatever I want to." Oh wow,
right.
that was fun. That was funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, especially when the kid at the end gave a little smirk, like, "Hold on a second." Yeah,
We can do whatever we want to. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I blame that on Butcher, mostly.
Yeah.
Well, not mostly, but a good part. He, I get why Butcher did what he did, but it was like, come on now, it's a kid. But with Homelander and the kid, so this is part of one thing. Well, there's a few things I don't like about the boys and all, but this is one of the things I do find annoying when it comes to Homelander or anyone with. Here's a line. If you cross it, it's going to be hell to pay, and then they cross the line, and then nothing happens.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
beginning of this season was,
yeah,
I want to be liked, but if I'm not liked, I will burn this whole place down.
and
And then
yeah,
it's, he constantly puts himself in a situation where the public doesn't like him. His ratings is constantly going down, and I'm
and
like, you,
he never turns.
yeah,
Yeah.
he never turned, he never
See, yeah, well,
snaps.
but you know what though? You say that, but I think that's why they gave you that mirror sequence between him and his other Schmiegel, uh, his his, his inner Schmiegel inside the mirror, right, where he's talking straight to him, like he talks that way because he knows he's strong. He knows how menacing it is for him to threaten that, but deep down he can never do that because I
Right,
do need people to love me.
right,
Like I
yeah.
do have a nascent need for that shit, and
You
I
know
don't
what? You're
fucking know why.
exactly
I want to
right.
cut it out, but I can't.
You're exactly right. I forgot about that scene. Yeah,
Yeah, that's why they gave, and that's well, you know what? And that's why the boys is more well done than most TV shows right now.
yeah,
Because you're right, it would have a lot of other like TV or show or movies or in general, they wouldn't have gave you that moment to kind of help you understand. Yeah, he likes talking that talk, but deep down, that motherfucker really needs you guys to love him, and he
right,
hates that part of himself. But like anybody else, that's who you are, and you can't fucking. Certain things are fundamental, and his need for family and love is fundamental. He can't change it.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you won't ever fucking go fucking batshit crazy. You know you won't. You need
right,
them. You need to be loved.
right. Unless he gets a following big enough where he feels
Yes.
like,
Well,
which,
and what
you know,
that's why it was so scary at the end. He was like,
yeah,
"Well, I could scorch half the earth, and the other half will still love me."
right, exactly. Um, so yeah, that's why The Boys is a good show, but it's gonna be gone for another year or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
You know what, one show I'm not interested in anymore
What's that?
is Stranger Things. I haven't seen season 4, and I have no desire to watch it.
I think you're missing out on that one, brother.
That's what I keep hearing, and it may well be true, but I mean, like I wasn't a huge fan of season 3. And season 4, look, I'm hearing nothing but great things about season 4. But I'm
Season
just
four has
like,
been really good.
I don't know. I just feel like I can go watch that anytime because season 5, I think they said it's gonna be the last season. So to me, it's I got a year and a half to 2 years to watch season 4. Just like I could watch
Yeah,
all at once. I know
I
they
didn't like season two. Season two to me was just awful.
season 2. That's the what's that? The Ghostbuster?
No, they had the other kids in Chicago or whatever. She was in Chicago for half the season, like trying to get back to Hawkins or whatever.
Was that season 2 or was
That
I
was
thought?
season two.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and what happened to them? Like
What happened?
her, like what? I forget her number was. If it's the people we're talking about.
11.
No, 11. There were other kids there with 11 that have
Yeah, those
powers.
kids. Yeah, that was I forgot what happened. They probably died. I hope they died because I didn't care about two kids.
Well, I'm saying they were in the show and then they weren't, and it's like I don't remember them in season 3. Maybe they popped up in season 4.
They weren't in season three. That's why they probably died. But I forgot how they would have died.
I I don't think they died. I think they just left, man.
I think they just kind of got the hell on. You're right. Yeah, yeah.
Trying to kill off these kids, and I'm just like, that was weird. But I don't know. I don't know, man. Waiting 2 years for a show that I can watch the whole. Netflix is going to have to start splitting it up by weeks
Yeah.
because the fact that I can watch the entire season in 2 days after waiting 2 years probably doesn't help. And I know that's me. I have no self control. I understand it. I get it, but I don't care. and they try to break it up in two parts, but I'm like, that was only separated by like what, a few weeks?
What's that?
Season 4, part 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was like that was so damn dumb. I didn't get that either. It was
Yeah, I was
like
like,
maybe
oh
maybe
man,
3 weeks it was separated by.
yeah. I was like, oh man, they're gonna. I was like, okay, I get it. And then it's like, all right, season 4, part 2's coming up Thursday. I'm like, wait, I thought you said we had to wait. So I don't know. I, I don't know, man. I'll find something to watch. You know what? I already know I'm gonna watch. And you're gonna say it's weird and that I'm old and all. I'm gonna watch MASH.
Yeah, hey, you go ahead and do that. All right. I'm gonna watch MASH.
Hey, I love me some MASH. MASH is an interesting show. Season 1 was wild, especially with the black character they tried to have on there and his nickname. But it's I always like MASH and I have access to all the episodes, so I probably just start watching that and
Yeah.
see how that goes. But yeah,
Okay.
man.
He said I'm gonna watch MASH. That is one that is hey, listen, if you're looking to go, kind of another direction from the MCU, I mean, I don't think you can go any more opposite than what you just did. So
Right. I mean, that's the last thing I say about the MCU. It's getting to the point that I'm looking forward to DC movies more now than MCU movies.
yeah, I really agree. Yeah,
And that's not good.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
because the Batman and the Joker, those are some good movies.
I agree.
Black Adam, I think it'll bring us back down to, oh wait, this is what DC's really about. But still, I'm it's not a good look.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you noticed, but I'm pretty sure we're over the 40-minute mark.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, I have noticed that, and yeah,
I
I
I
fucking
found I found a lot of discounts online and I piled them all up together and I upgraded for 1 year for a cheap price. Yeah, them
I was wondering. I was like, man, what's that 30-minute thing gonna? When is he gonna hit me with a 35-minute warning?
right. So I don't know how long we've been talking, but I'm sure it's yeah, it doesn't even tell me. But yeah, so I mean, you got anything else to add? I know we were supposed to talk about Thor 4, but something
Don't do it.
happened.
Don't do it. All right, don't fucking do it.
I, I don't
Don't
know what
fucking
you
do it.
mean, sir. I just know that at one point we had a topic and then we were on another topic. It happens bit by bit,
I
but
look. I just want to give you the time to get you to get your Thor 4 takes off. All right. I want to give you the space to do that, and I'm really kind of mad we wasn't around when that last Star Wars movie came out because you probably would have heard me die on Zoom. I probably passed out.
when
I had a stroke on Zoom live.
yeah, that I told you I went with a buddy, and if I didn't go with a buddy to that movie, I would have left the theater. Like I was cussing around kids. I'm like, man, this isn't this. I usually go to the theater and I just watch it. But the two movies that got me actually saying stuff out loud was Aquaman because he was in a stupid ass boat, and then like the 3/4 of the last Star Wars movie. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And there's
Yeah,
kids around. I'm cussing. And I'm like, oh man, this isn't good at all.
Aquaman in that fucking boat was was oh boy. The Aquaman movie in general was one of those movies where it's like visible confusion.
Yeah, it yeah. So Marvel hasn't gotten to visible confusion yet, but yeah, I can see it going there. But yeah, so well, man, I don't know how long we've been on, but you got anything else to add about Thor 4 or
Man,
anything like that?
man, I do not. I'm gonna give. I've been over here Google searching your Overlord anime. It looks interesting. I don't know why you don't think I'd be into it. Hey, it looks good. I mean, why are you doing that
So
to me? I don't know why you putting that on me. You know, I like Berserk.
yeah, it's nothing like Berserk.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, but Berserk is like another, one of those ones I didn't think I liked, but I did.
Overlord is look, there's a lot of interesting characters. Maybe the reason I say I don't think you'll like it is because you say you have to get it has to grab you early on and make you care about whatever character.
You gotta give me a reason to care. That's true. That's
See,
true.
episode 1 doesn't really do that. Beyond that, maybe, but episode 1 is just an introduction, and the reason they give you the care, I think you might find stupid because it's
Okay.
like
Okay.
I I love it, and I don't know. I guess I can kind of relate it to just because the whole thing there is he's in this world, and all the friends that he knew aren't. They didn't stick around, so he's in this world that his friends built over years, like over a decade, like 40 plus friends, and he's here and they're not there. He's hoping that they're somewhere in the game, but the main reason like to get
So the
attached
main
is
setting in this whole situation is a game.
yes,
Okay.
a game that turned into real life.
Okay. Gotcha.
But like the lore is good and everything's good about it. I just look, give the first 2 episodes a go, and and if you like it, cool. If not, then hey, I told you so.
Yeah. I'll give it a look. I'll give it a look right now. God damn it! I was watching Fahrenheit 451
The
before
hell
we
is
start
that?
this podcast here. It's a story about it's similar to like you familiar with it, 1984.
I read the book.
So yeah, so it's not the same as 1984, but in a similar mode, dystopia. The book is set in like the 1950s, but the movie's set in current time, and pretty much they've redefined what a fireman is. Books are not allowed in the new society after the Second American Civil War. So firemen go around and they burn books and they
Wait,
burn and they burn books and like servers and things of that nature. And for people that are trying to like upload books to the internet, is
why
that
are books not allowed?
because they believe that books are the reason. All the varying opinions of different people is what started the Second American Civil War. So then they believe books rob you of your happiness because books give you alternate opinions and alternate thought processes. So they
Right.
take away all the books. So they go around in this world and they set books on fire and they arrest people that try to upload books to the internet. It's a pretty interesting concept.
Wait.
Uh,
So there's no books, but they still allow internet?
so there are 3 books. Yeah, but on the internet's heavily controlled. It's not the internet as you know it, right?
Right.
They call it the Nine. That's the name of the internet. And on the internet, there are only 3 books allowed on the internet. It's like the Bible,
Oh boy.
Moby Dick, and like it's like one more book. They're the only 3 books you can find on the internet. That's it. And the whole basis of it is they've supplied everybody with housing, everybody eats, and after that, work and sports are the primary modes of like human sorts of that's the
Entertainment?
community. That's how the community is based off of work,
Oh, okay.
sports, and those 3 books. Yeah, because
Hmm.
reading books makes you unhappy because you'll have a different opinion from somebody else that read another book. So
And this is just in America? This isn't the rest of the world?
this is right now, right in as far as I know here, this is just America. It's not even in Canada because a lot of people try to escape over into Canada and they get stopped.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Huh.
it's actually a pretty interesting concept.
Is this a show?
It's a movie. It's a
A
movie. It's Michael
movie.
B. Jordan and Michael Shannon. I got a friend of mine. He's reading the book. Well, he's listening to the audio book right now. So I decided to watch the movie because I'm fucking lazy. I'll watch the movie. All right, I'll get it all from that. But yeah, the
All right.
concept's interesting.
Yeah, it
Concept's
does.
interesting.
Now I ain't gonna lie, it sounded dumb at first when you said they don't allow books, but then you explain the reason why, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
something happening.
They believe that people reading all these different books and all these different ideologies and ideas is what caused the Second American Civil War. So they were
Right.
like, guess what? No more of that shit. but we're gonna supply you with housing. You're gonna have food, and you're gonna go to work, and we're gonna watch some sports, and that'll be the center. That'll be the center, the gathering place for the society. But y'all won't be reading up all these books. Like they said, and it's so funny because in the movie, fucking Michael Shannon, they arrest a group of guys trying to upload a bunch of different books to the internet, and Michael Shannon goes in. So clearly, the people in this story, this change, the Second American Civil War happened decades ago because in this new world, Michael Shannon arrests a guy. He says, "Our founding father was the first fireman, and he burned a lot of books." So, like, he really believes that Benjamin Franklin was the founding father of America, and he was the first fireman that burned a lot of books. So these people are very, very separated from like the actual history of anything. This has
Right.
been generations now, right? So
Right.
in this new world, nobody knows shit that was real, all right? Because they erased all the history. They made history illegal. Like, hey, get out of that shit. Don't worry about what happened back then.
They
Yeah.
made history illegal.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Like when Michael Shannon tells that guy, our founding father, Benjamin Franklin, was the first firefighter, I almost passed out from laughter. And like the firemen in this society, firemen are like celebrities. Like Michael B. Jordan's like a celebrity. Like, people love him. They love to see him set books on fire.
Right. Wasn't Benjamin Franklin actually a firefighter at one point?
Uh I don't know, but not a firefighter. Hey, look, not that kind. All right. Not a
Right.
firefighter, a fireman. And in this sense, a fireman sets fires. They don't put out fires. They go around and they
Oh,
fucking
okay.
they still call them firemen, but they're setting the fires. They're burning up any
Okay.
sort of equipment that's deemed contraband, books and internet servers and computers and stuff. Yeah, that shit gets set on fire. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, sounds like they're mixing up actual history with the because
Yeah,
I'm pretty
with
sure
what they're
Benjamin
doing.
Franklin was a fireman, but
Yeah.
what they believe a fireman isn't what a fireman was back then.
And yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a movie?
It's a movie. It's called Fahrenheit 451. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check
It's
that out.
it's pretty. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting, and it's the parallels from what you're seeing today, where you got put this way, there are some times where I sit in loneliness and smoke my cigar, and I think to myself, maybe people should be reading all these books. In my darkest moments, in my darkest moments, I go there because some of these fucking people are idiots.
Look,
But yeah.
man, then that's not a look. I don't see that as a dark moment or a dark thought. I mean, it's completely true. Look, everything out there ain't good. And look, if
Yeah.
just because it's published doesn't mean it. Look, certain things are being read that's jacking up people's lives.
Yeah, hey,
And I won't
listen.
say
I
what.
I saw I saw a book today. There's a guy. I'm gonna put. Oh, God damn it! I'm not gonna say his name, but anyway, there's a guy out there right now. He's very popular on YouTube, and he preaches a gospel that
Lord
black
Zenu?
people. What's that?
Lord Zenu?
No. This is something else. It's a black guy, and he's preaching the gospel that black people were actually Native Americans. Like we were here first, not the Native Americans that you think were here first. No, yeah, that's actually us, and that white people came to America as slaves, and this is a hidden history that they've kept from us. And he has a big YouTube following. He wrote a book about it. Yeah,
Right. Well,
yeah.
so I know people like that in real life.
Do you? Wow.
Yes.
Okay. How you
Uh
how you
we
handle that?
I found it very entertaining. And
That's all you can do.
when I
Yeah.
saw that the person was serious, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, well, man, you have a good day.
You have a good day.
I forget what I was talking about. It was I think I was talking about the swastika,
Yes.
how
And how it's been
it's
used way before the Nazis. Yeah.
right, yeah. And I'm like, it goes back to this and that, and this place, it means good luck, Hinduism and all that.
Hindu, yep,
And
Hindu
he
culture.
was like, oh, well, it originated in Africa. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. And then he starts going on a tangent about how just about everything originated from African people. I like, well, I don't know about everything, and then he's like, oh man, I did research and I you got to look at these books and this, and I'm like, I mean, look, man, I get it, probably black, cool, but like everything don't come from black people, like not
Yeah,
everything. And he
not
was like,
everything.
yeah, man,
Hey,
everything. I was
well, listen,
like,
if you use it, look, well, here's what they'll do. If you use the rule, which is, I mean, the first peoples were from Africa, so in that sense, everything derived from Africa. Then sure, but that's not what they're doing.
right. Man,
They're
when they
doing,
say that, I'm like, well, originally I'm Pangean, that's where
yeah,
I come from. Like, if you want to
yeah,
go way back, I'm like, it was just weird. It was on Facebook of all things, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, all right, man. It's crazy how we came up with completely different opinions based off the same thing, but you take care, man.
yeah,
And then I think I blocked them.
yeah,
I was like, I don't know
yeah.
what's going on here, but I don't want no
But the
part of
fact,
this.
well, I had a friend of mine. He said it. He said it best. He said the world is so fucked right now that you have the internet, which is its own multiverse. So you just have people running a different multiverse. It's like, fuck it. I don't like this one. So I'm just gonna find one I'm comfortable in and just hang out. And that's what the best internet grifters do. They create another dimension for you to come into their space. And
Right.
in this space, white people were slaves, black people were Native Americans, and somewhere along the lines the roles reversed, and then white people enslaved black people, and it's all kinds of weird, dude. It's fucking very strange. People are weird, but he's very popular on YouTube. I went and looked at his videos. He's doing numbers over there, man, and that's because there are a lot of people in this real world that don't like it, and they're finding other realms. Look, I often think about becoming a cult leader or some sort of grifter in that fashion because it's easy to do. Because a lot of people are hurt, man. A lot of people just need somewhere to go where you can just tell them what they want to hear, and they can be soothed.
Yeah.
And it's
Um,
fucking strange.
right. I mean, hey, maybe that's your calling, man. You said you're
Yeah,
looking for other avenues of income, and
yeah. Maybe it's a
so
maybe it's a fucking yeah.
maybe that's
Maybe
it.
it's yeah. Maybe it's my next my hey, like in the words of KD, my next journey, cult leader.
Hey,
Uh,
look, if Jedi is an actual religion, I'm sure you can
I
come out
know, I know.
with something on your own.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'll lead people. Why not?
yo, what?
I said I'll lead people. Why not?
Oh, so you'll eat people. I'm
well,
like, whoa.
well, that's the end. We don't do that first. That's
Ah,
comes later.
jeez.
Yeah, we don't. You don't start with eating people. That's the number one rule of being a cult leader. You don't start with the bad stuff. You start, with good stuff.
Right. Yeah. If you say so. Sure.
You know, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Maybe I should
yeah.
stop giving away my plans on the internet about how I'm going to become a cult leader. But anyway,
Oh no, not that. You'll be the first to ever do that.
uh,
Make sure you register at cultleader.com, man. I mean,
I want to register mine. I mean,
go for it.
look, I'm creating the lore right now. All right, listen, guys, come on over. I buy some land, and I get to fuck all the women. That's come on, because that's rule number one. Been in a
Hold
cult.
on. I gotta find a timestamp so I can know where to cut off when I'm editing. Uh
Come
hold
on.
on. Where is it?
Rule number one, I get to fuck all the women.
Oh, you
Come
said
on.
it again. See. I can just edit this whole
I get
section
I get to do it. Come on, that's
out.
rule number one.
Right.
Look, don't delete it. Look, just blur it out, all right? Just blur it.
Look, it's much easier to just cut than to blur.
Just kind of, obscure what I said. But listen, come on.
See?
I get to do that. That's rule number one. That's the fucking first rule. That's the first rule of
I
every
get
cult
to do
ever.
that.
I get to do that, man.
Wow.
This
Hey,
is,
look, let me know how that works out.
if you come
Uh,
in here married, you're leaving single. Come on.
Jeez.
Come on.
Oh, so they can leave though.
Well, you know,
See,
uh,
sounds like you ain't got this planned out.
it's not 100%. It's not. I told you, I'm building it, man. I'm building it. Look, David Koresh. Guess what happened? All right. Oh, that's your wife. Well, that's my wife. He didn't say our wife. David Koresh, that's my wife. All right. That's
Oh
my
shoot.
wife. Jesus Christ,
Jeez.
our Lord and Savior, gave me your betrothed. All right. She's mine now. And if you try to stop our union, it's like stopping God Himself. Do you want to do that? You don't want to do that, do you? Well, hand her over. Come on.
Well, all right. Sounds
You
like
know,
you do have a plan. Uh
it's rule number one.
um don't email me any of that information. Uh matter of
It's
fact,
fucking rule number one, dude.
I'll come to you if I need information on it.
I don't know. Hey, listen, brother. Hey, if you get in early, come on, you'll be at the top.
Jeez.
You'll be at the top with me. Come on.
Oh man. Where is that in button?
I'm going to need ministers of certain departments. Come on, dude. I need leaders. I can't do it all by myself. I'm going to share. You know,
Right.
and that's usually mistake number one. So you got rule number one for starting to
He's
go.
got rules.
I get all the women. All right, I get all the women. That's rule number one.
Well, then
But
I don't want to be.
usually,
What do you mean?
but usually, mistake number one, because I got rules and mistakes. All right, I'm doing this
Okay.
thing. I'm building it. Mistake number one is usually consolidating too much power at the top, and they all come and kill your ass. So listen, I'm gonna have a couple of guys at the top with me, a couple of close friends and family, you know, and you guys will get a chance to do some stuff too. Like I get first pick, then you guys get second, right? And it'll be good. Everything will be good and cool, man.
Listen.
And then we'll all get together and we'll fucking use our power to control the rest of the flock.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. But you get in early. If you don't get in early enough, listen.
Hold up. Wait a second. This ain't the first pyramid scheme you try to get me to get a part in.
No, it's not. Let me tell
Uh.
you what.
Matter of fact, you know what? I know exactly how this is. You're gonna send me to some BS seminar, and whoever's talking gonna talk it up real good, and then it's gonna be complete crap, and then it's
Oh,
gonna
hey,
fold
listen.
in a year or two.
Listen. That's where I learned half of these rules from. That's where I learned half the rules. All right. Pyramid schemes are where you learn half the rules of run a code. All right. You gotta look around and look. You gotta look around at a pyramid scheme and see how they get all these people in this fucking room. You gotta figure out how they did that, and then you just kind of start copying the plans. Yeah.
Man, I went to
Look, I
whatever
got you in that first one. See, you're good enough. You wiggled out, but
yeah, I was like, you know what? Nah,
most
man.
people, most people aren't as smart as you. Come on. Come
After
on.
that dude got done talking, I was like, man, this sounds great. I even texted him, I'm like, man, I'm all for it. And then I hung up, and then they all had their own separate tables out, and they had information on them. And oh, cool, I'm gonna get some good information. None of that shit was free. All that it was.
Ever.
Wait a second, I got to pay for this,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then it
ever.
was.
That's it. That's always. Hey, that's it. That's what shakes you out of the matrix every time. What I gotta pay? I gotta pay for this.
And I'm like, wait a second, what did that guy actually say? I'm like, hold up. You know what?
Man.
I'm not down. When he said, look, man, if she had our services, she wouldn't been killed by the cop. I was like, wait a second. Like, what? I was like, no way, this is real.
Oh man.
I signed up for a month out of courtesy, and then I was like, you know what? Can't do it anymore, man. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, me and you had similar experiences, but what I did when I was in that thing, I studied the construct because I was so curious. Like, how does this work? The people that stay, how do they stay? Right? What's making them stay? And I studied it. I figured some of it out.
Hey, look, unnecessary positive reinforcement. It was all over the place. But look, when they started to charge me extra, and then I actually realized what the guy was saying, I was like, you know what? I I I told him, yeah, I'm for it, and I'll do it a month. And then that was it. I was like, you know what? It ain't for me. You know what? I'd rather go to school and learn something. So yeah. But hey, look, get all that information, get a nice pamphlet going, Don't mail it to me. I don't want nothing in writing connecting me to it. Matter of fact, I might have to delete most of this podcast. And then, one day when I'm in wherever you're at, I don't want to say your location, we can exchange envelopes and then we'll go from there. But until then, keep working on it. I believe in you. You still there? Oh, they done took him. Facebook was listening in. They done got your boy. Well, that's what happens when you start talking about coats on any kind of service connected to the internet. So
they muted me. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Oh, you got loose. You got free.
Man, fucking, they tried to take me away.
Look, I'm not gonna say I don't blame them, but I can understand why they made that decision.
Listen, that's why in Fahrenheit 451 they banned books because you got charlatans like me out there realizing half you fucking people are stupid. You believe anything I put on paper.
First of all, I didn't have a book when I went to that seminar. There was no books. The books that they had there weren't free, so I didn't get any books. So taking away books wouldn't have changed anything.
Matrix, all right? I gotta pay to stay in this Matrix. Well, fuck this Matrix. I'm leaving. Pour me to the sleep.
I was like, what? And it wasn't like, oh, here, $5, and it was like, oh, $50 for this pamphlet. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, oh, God, this is a scam.
yeah.
I
was like, but I told him I was all for it a second ago, and I'll pay for it.
See, so for the people, so you went to one in South Carolina, so whoever runs that part of the coach, they're very aggressive. The people up here in Atlanta, they're not that aggressive. They don't sell $50 pamphlets.
They have books and videos pamphlets for sale.
But yeah.
And I was like, we thought I brought cash on me? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, man. Look, that time I spent like 3 or 4 months doing Legal Shield. That time was very, very well spent because I learned so much about the world.
Right.
I learned how churches work. I learned how cults work. I learned how sometimes even organizations in general work. I learned how they work. I learned how they keep you in, man. I learned how they do that.
Right.
It's fucking, it's good shit. It's good shit unless you fall for it the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, look, looking back, I don't appreciate you dragging me into it, but
well, hey, listen, you shook your way out, buddy. There you go.
Oh man, yeah, that was a weird moment. I was like, cause you were like, hey man, I'm just looking for a couple people. I was like, you know what? He's cool. I got no problem with him. I trust his word. And then it went down to the seminar, and I was like, you know what? I might have to start vetting people to a process or something because this ain't it.
Look, that's how you do it. Listen, you're a smart guy. You check yourself out if you see it.
That dude said,
don't feel bad.
That dude said she should have called us and she wouldn't be dead today.
Hey, trust me, bro. At the time, I believe everything I said. Trust me.
Oh, look. When he said it, I was like, yeah, she should have called. You're right. And then the facade went away and they started charging for books. I was like, wait a second. Let me rethink this whole experience. Like, you know what? I don't think I want any part of this. But I get it. I was eating that stuff up.
They're really good. And I told you, it's an education. I don't know about you. I learned a lot. All right.
Right.
Maybe I didn't learn what they wanted me to learn, but I learned a lot.
Oh, I'm sure they got enough out of you. That
I went to I went to the meetings consistently for about 3 months. Yeah, I don't think I ever bought any pamphlets, but I was definitely going to the meetings. I was doing that.
Only thing I got out of that was a discount on business cards.
Well, you know what? And you're alive today. I bet you got pulled over in that time. You know what? You pull out that card and they say, you know what, sir? You know what? You're not going to jail today. That's how it works.
I gotta say, don't think that happened. And if I did get pulled over, I'm not pulling that card out. Because they're like, oh, you're one of them. Yeah, we won't arrest you today, but watch out for us in the next few days. We're gonna have a team come over and and
If you
ask
ever
you some
stop, if
questions.
you ever stop paying those people, you're going to jail.
I was
Jesus.
like, goodness. It was an interesting experience. It wasn't my last of that type. I fell for it
Yeah.
again with someone else I trust. But
Hey, you're learning a lot.
that
Listen,
one
that's how
lasted
they do
longer
it.
because it was easier to do. It was a travel agency.
Try the travel one. Yeah, I know what the fuck you're talking about.
That one's easy. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. But wait, I gotta go up to people and tell them, hey, either you could go to jail and get shot like that lady did, or
Well, you can offer to send somebody to Mexico.
right. I was like, I'm good. I'm good. Learned a lot. Well,
Oh, it's funny.
I'll probably check out that movie at some point. It's on the list. I have a long list. Um, you try to wrap this up here. You ever heard of a book called Alas Babylon?
The Last Babylon. No, I have not.
Alas,
I
alas,
have
like
not.
alas. I don't know when it came out, but I read it in school. Um, to be honest, I don't think I finished the book. But everything I read was very interesting. It's about like nuclear war goes down and
Okay.
like the 26 in line to be president are killed and America has to rebuild type of thing. So, the president, vice president, speaker of the house. It goes down to like public is like food, who's ever in charge of food and health in the American government, federal government line becomes president. And it's just basically um I think it takes place in Florida. It's just nuclear holocaust goes down, and it's people, and more. It's a kind of a realistic look at how people try to get to a safe place or just try to live where they're at, and you see how it affects certain people because certain people die off quick, and then people with sickness goes next. Like one person in the group, I think had diabetes, and he couldn't get insulin anymore. So you see how he starts to deteriorate. And then it's just things like that. It's a good book. I definitely recommend it. I don't think there's a movie adaptation to it. So
1959 novel. I'm looking it up now. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, um, that's the kind of books.
Alas, Babylon. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's good. Now I say it's good, but I also didn't finish read it. I don't know how it ends, but the parts that this back, I used to read a lot back in the day. It was a good book, so I definitely recommend that. I don't know. It popped up when you said the whole dystopian future and all that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Look, I mean, dude, they've been writing dystopian novels since the 30s. What's this fucking last couple of years gonna write? Well, I mean, you're right. You were writing dystopia in the 30s. Oh shit! What do you write for the 2010s or whatever? Right? And
the
that's another
same
reason.
thing.
And
Listen,
I
man.
usually, well, that's why I say that thought honestly usually makes me feel better because it reminds me that people have always thought the world was
Yeah,
ending. It ain't
yeah,
nothing new. Yeah.
yeah. It's nothing new at all.
So maybe we'll just keep on keeping on.
I honestly think we will. We've talked about this before. Actually, I like they constantly say those who refuse to look at the past are doing to repeat themselves or whatever it is.
Over
Like
and
we
over
are
again.
constantly repeating ourselves.
We are the
It's
masters of that.
yeah,
Well, that's
like
why I say, look, one day it'll all come true. One day we will finally fucking go over the edge of that cliff because we just won't stop doing the same thing over and over again.
the world's not flat, Kyrie. We're
Yeah,
not going off
yeah,
no cliff. We're just going to meet up back where we started, and
yeah. Well,
then it's a
yeah,
new
that
generation.
or that. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, but I'm just saying, one day, hey, one day you'll really do some shit you can't take back. All right, and you'll fucking fuck some shit up for a very long time for a lot of people. Uh, one day, I don't know when. One day,
one
but
day.
yeah.
I mean, like I don't want to get too much into it, but it seems to happen weekly at this point.
Well, yeah, that's true
You
too,
know,
right? What about in
Jack.
Hawaii, the Navy in Hawaii on fucking Red Hill, fucking ruined the water supply. It's a whole aquifer ruined. because of fucking gasoline leaking into the aquifer. Terrible situation.
Right.
Terrible.
But so I'm saying I do see change coming, but it's not like it has been any different than before.
No,
Um,
no, just a more modern spin,
yeah,
modern
it's just
technology.
only thing that changes, and I say this a lot, is technology. Everything else has stayed exactly the same.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
like the way people are and the way people act, it's basically the same. It's just technology makes it either easier, harder, or something like that in between. But I mean, people are gonna be people. Um, and as for country wise, I mean, I don't really see statuses changing much. Because that's I mean, nothing major anyway.
Yeah,
Um, like if it didn't happen during the Cold War, I don't think it's gonna happen in my lifetime.
I hope you're right. I
I
hope you're
mean,
right.
look, I could be wrong because it has happened. So it's not like it's never happened before. But there's certain things, certain goals that people are going for that's never been a thing, like world peace or
Yeah,
ending world hunger or things like
literally
that.
never been a thing.
Yeah, it's like you're aiming for something that's never existed. So how can you hope to get there if it's never been a thing? And like with world hunger, is like we have plenty of food. No one wants to get it to the people.
Yeah, yeah, we
So
have plenty of food, but greed always is a very common thread.
right. And I'm actually developing. I don't know if it's gonna be a
Oh,
novel, a book,
your own cult. Yeah,
a what?
your own cult.
Nah, this is gonna have to be
Oh, okay.
fictional.
I thought we were going
Um,
there. Okay,
where
all right.
it's basically I don't want to go into too much details, but basically
You don't
there's
want to get. You don't want to get. You don't want to give away intellectual property on the internet, my friend. Trust me.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's something I've been putting together, and it kind of goes along with what you were saying with Fahrenheit
451. Yeah,
451 in a way, but with a more I guess a more anime twist put on it type of leadership role type thing. I don't know.
yeah,
As
yeah,
I get
yeah,
more together and I'll release more, but yeah, it's the world we're in. We make do. One day when I win the lotto, y'all never hear from me again. So
yeah. It just disappear. Listen,
yeah.
just all I ask is, hey, just cut me a check, just a small one. All right, just cut me a check. All right, just slide in my inbox. I won't tell anybody else. I won't. I won't.
To be
Uh,
honest, it may be stupid of me to do, but I'm gonna be cutting a lot of people checks because I think a lot of people have impacted my life in a
and
more positive way.
yeah,
And
I've always thought that too, man. I've always say, if I hit the lotto, man, I'm gonna be cutting some checks, man.
right,
A lot of people made a lot of good impacts in my life, and I
yeah,
want to show appreciation.
and
Then
I
after that,
hope.
they don't ever contact me again. Get away from me.
And I honestly hope that if it comes to that I stick with that. Because my life could be a lot worse than what it is right now. And I have a lot of
Yeah,
people to thank for that. And if I could, I'd help them out now, but I financially can't. So if it were to come into a large lump sum of money, I would definitely do that. But I would have to do a lot of research because I just can't be giving out cash like that because the government don't like that.
the government
So
does not like that shit at all. It's so weird.
yeah, which is that's the I think that's the 16th Amendment when Congress and whoever decided we the government can tax the hell out of whatever you get.
Yeah, and
Um
whatever you give,
yeah,
fucking nuts.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting. But go USA and let's go ahead and wrap this up because I don't know how long this is. And there's certain damn I'm
hey, you forgot. Hey, you lost track of it,
I
and
did.
you're not gonna go find it. That stays in,
Oh
man. Listen,
man.
that shit stays in. All right, listen,
I guess
listen.
it will.
It stays in. Rule number one.
Oh,
That should be the name of that podcast. All right, the name of this podcast should be Rule Number One.
right. Jeez. But
Yeah. All
but all
right,
right,
I'm
man.
gonna
Got
leave.
anything
I'm
else to
going to go
add?
get me a cigar.
All right, man. All right, you
Yep.
take it easy.